Are you in a season right now where something that used to work, used to fit, just doesn't anymore? And you're trying to figure out, what does that mean? Where do you go from here? Whether it's even worth trying to fix it or start over. I want to talk to you today about that. And I'm going to do it through the most unlikely story: a pair of running shoes, a wrapped ankle, and a chalk drawing in a running store that stopped me cold. Because I think I might be addicted to running. But let me back up. 3 times a week at 5 a.m., I meet a group of women on the pavement. It's dark, it's early, and it's one of my favorite parts of the day. Running has become the thing that clears my mind, helps me to breathe deeply, and reminds me I'm alive and capable and not too old for any of this. So when something threatened that, I took it personally, and that something was a new pair of new shoes. They looked perfectly fine. I have been a Mizuno girl for over 10 years. Same brand, similar style. And here's why. I spent most of my life in heels, high heels. And Mizuno has what's called a higher heel drop, which just means that the heel sits higher than the toe. So for someone who lived in heels, that felt most comfortable. My feet knew Mizuno Wave Riders. Mizuno's knew my feet. We had an understanding, or so I thought. And then when it was time for new shoes, I did what I've done before. I went online, I ordered my Mizunos. Same brand, Wave Riders, trusted. They arrived on my doorstep like an old friend. But less than 50 miles later, my ankle was screaming at me. Not whispering, not hinting, screaming. I could not get them off my feet fast enough. That right there is what 10 years of brand loyalty sometimes gets, because they have new updates, not the same as the older models, but now my ankle is wrapped, but I'm sidelined. And because I ordered them on Amazon, no returns after 30 days. So here's the thing. I don't think the shoes were defective. I think something in the new update shifted, or maybe my gait, my foot, how I was running, and what worked for 10 years simply stopped working. And I didn't know that until my ankle told me loudly. Has that ever happened to you? Something you trusted completely, a plan, a relationship, a habit, a path you'd been on for years, just stopped fitting. And you didn't see it coming because it's always worked before. I gave those shoes away. Linda, one of my new 5 a.m. running friends, pointed me to Rock City Running. I walked in there excited, yet a little apprehensive. I was greeted by Annette. Now, she did not just hand me shoes. She asked me questions, and they were good ones. Why Mizuno's? Well, the heel drop, the heels, my whole life story thing. It just felt comfortable. Had I one other brand, she asked. Yes, Brooks Ghost. Those had worked also. Was I open to trying other brands? Sure. Color preference. Honestly, I've been in black for the last few pairs, so there's no real preference there. And then she started bringing out shoes, several pairs, including, and I want you to hear this, a few from the sale table. Now, this woman was already speaking my language. The first pair that felt comfortable, she had me to walk through the store. She and her coworker, they were watching my gait, my pronation, which is whether I overpronate or supinate, or if I run neutral. I know I run neutral, which means just that my foot strikes fairly evenly on the pavement. Annette knew after watching me walk for about 30 feet. After trying on what felt like every shoe in the store. Okay, Maybe not every shoe. The Brooks Ghost from the sale table were the best ones. Woohoo! And then I walked up to the counter to check out and I looked up. I stopped. The beautiful chalk art flowers and the words "running in full bloom" were on the wall behind Annette. It stopped me because sitting at home on my kitchen counter is this cup that I recently purchased with flowers on it and the words "Live life in full bloom." Annette didn't know about my cup. The chalk artist didn't know about my cup. And I believe with everything in me that God did. And in that running store, in that ordinary moment of buying shoes off the sale table, He just winked at me. So now I have the right shoes. And when I got home, there was even a new pair of socks in the box. How cool is that? Finally, I can't use the shoes yet. The ankle has to heal. Swelling has to go down. I got to get the strength back. I know it whether I like it or not. Wait, strengthen, then I can run. I know I'm not a patient woman at times because, like I said, running's how I process my thoughts, manage my mornings, and show up for those 5 a.m. women who are out there on the pavement without me. While I sit here, I'm sitting here trying to be patient, but here's what I keep coming back to. There's a verse I've loved for years, Isaiah 40:31. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Hear that. They shall run and not be weary. I'm claiming that verse over this ankle, over these shoes, over every 5 a.m. that's coming. But I also notice what it says first. Those who wait, pushing through when it's not time doesn't make you tough. It just makes the wait longer. I know. My ankle taught me this. And I suspect you might have something in your life right now that is teaching you the very same thing. Maybe it's not shoes. Maybe it's a door that hasn't opened yet. A relationship that needs more time. A dream that feels like it's sitting in the box, unworn, waiting for the right moment. And you're sitting there, not patient, if we're honest, wondering when. The shoes, they'll get their moment. So will you. Paul wrote in Philippians 4:11, I have learned in whatsoever state I am to be content. I love that he said learned. Not gifted, not natural, learned. It took time and probably some hard seasons for Paul to get there. I'm still learning, but I'm learning, and that's enough for today. I'm Sandy with God's Fit Family, and the Brooks Ghosts are sitting here waiting. My ankle's getting stronger, and Thursday morning, Lord willing, I will see my ladies at 5 a.m. in my new shoes. And you better believe I'll be there with my camera. If you've got something in your life sitting in the box right now, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you're not subscribed yet, I would be grateful if you would do that now so that you don't miss Thursday morning. I'll see you then.